As tensions with the United States and Israel continue to rise, Iran faces a harsh reality. Its traditional air force can't dominate the modern battlefield, but instead of backing down, Tehran changed the game. While its fighter jets age, Iran has rapidly built one of the world's most aggressive drone arsenals. Cheap, scalable, and built for real conflict. From swarming loitering munitions to long-endurance strike UAVs, this aerial network is designed for one thing: survive and strike back in a high-intensity war. This is the real balance of power in the skies today. Iran UAV arsenal. When the skies become too dangerous for pilots, Iran doesn't retreat. It multiplies drones. Over the past decade, Tehran has quietly built one of the most layered and battle-tested UAV ecosystems in the Middle East. From cheap kamikaze swarms to long-endurance strike platforms. Now let's break down every major UAV in Iran's arsenal. Shahid 136. When Iran needs saturation strikes at minimal cost, it turns to the Shahid 136. This drone isn't built for elegance. It's built for volume and psychological pressure. Its real battlefield power comes from swarm tactics that can exhaust even modern air defenses. Shahid 131. When a lighter and more deployable loitering weapon is needed, Iran fields the Shahid 131. It follows the same swarm warfare philosophy, but in a smaller, cheaper package. Perfect for distributed launches and sustained attrition campaigns. Arash-2. When Tehran wants to signal long-range strategic reach, the Arash-2 enters the picture. This system is believed to focus on extended distance and heavier impact. It represents Iran's push toward deep strike one-way UAV warfare. Shahid 129. When Iran needs persistent eyes over the battlefield with teeth to strike, it deploys the Shahid 129. This mail drone gives Tehran long-endurance ISR and precision attack capability. In many ways, it helps compensate for Iran's aging manned fighter fleet. Shahid 149 Gaza. When maximum endurance and payload are the priority, Iran brings out the Shahid 149 Gaza. This is one of the largest and most ambitious drones in Iran's inventory. It signals Tehran's intent to compete in the high-end long-range UAV space. Shahid 191. When Iran wants a faster, jet-powered unmanned striker, the Shahid 191 is the tool of choice. It trades some endurance for speed and reduced radar signature, built for precision hits where slower drones might be intercepted. Mohajer 6. When tactical ISR and light strike flexibility are needed, the Mohajer 6 steps in. Compact, relatively affordable, and widely exported, it's one of Iran's most practical UAVs. It reflects Tehran's focus on cost-effective battlefield utility. Mohajer 10. When Iran pushes the Mohajer family into the next generation, the Mohajer 10 emerges. It offers longer endurance and improved payload over earlier variants. This platform shows Iran steadily climbing the mail capability ladder. Fotros. When long-range surveillance with heavier mission payloads is required, Iran fields the Fotros. This large UAV is designed for extended border and maritime monitoring. It highlights Tehran's interest in persistent wide-area surveillance. Karar. When speed becomes more important than endurance, Iran deploys the jet-powered Karar. Unlike most Iranian drones, this one emphasizes rapid strike capability. It fills a niche role for fast, high-impact unmanned missions. Mohajer 1. Iran's UAV journey began with the Mohajer 1 during the Iran-Iraq War. Primitive by modern standards, but strategically important. It proved Tehran understood early the value of unmanned reconnaissance. Mohajer 2. The Mohajer 2 marked Iran's first real step toward a mature UAV program. With better endurance and wider export use, it expanded operational reach. This was where Iran's drone ecosystem began scaling outward. Mohajer 3. The Mohajer 3 served as a transitional bridge toward more capable systems. It improved sensors and mission flexibility over earlier models. Though less famous, it helped refine Iran's ISR doctrine. Mohajer 4. One of Iran's most widely deployed reconnaissance drones, the Mohajer 4 became a workhorse. It offers solid endurance and reliable battlefield surveillance. This platform cemented Iran's reputation in tactical UAV operations. Babel 2. Simple, rugged, and highly proliferated. That defines the Ababel 2. It has been used for reconnaissance and one-way attack roles. Its real strength is affordability and mass availability. Ababel 3. The Ababel 3 pushes the family further into modern ISR territory. Improved optics and endurance make it a reliable tactical scout. It remains widely used across regional operations. Ababel 4. The Ababel 4 represents continued sensor and survivability improvements. Public data is limited, but the direction is clear. Better persistence and awareness. It shows Iran refining rather than reinventing its UAV fleet. Ababel 5. As one of the newest known variants, the Ababel 5 focuses on longer ISR presence. It reflects Tehran's ongoing incremental drone development model. Not revolutionary, but steadily more capable. Yasir. The Yasir highlights Iran's skill in reverse engineering foreign UAV technology. Compact and quiet, it is optimized for tactical reconnaissance missions. It demonstrates how Tehran blends adaptation with domestic production. Cold War diversification. The Cold War turned speed into survival. Yakovlev moved from simple fighters to interceptors, supersonic jets, and radical VTOL experiments. This era wasn't about perfection. It was about pushing limits and learning fast. Yak-24, a massive tandem rotor helicopter, nicknamed the Flying Wagon, designed to move troops, not impress spectators. Yak-25 was Yakovlev's first true Cold War interceptor. Twin engines, long range, and radar integration made it a dedicated air defense aircraft rather than a dogfighter. It was built not to chase fighters, but to stop bombers before they reach Soviet airspace. Yak-28. Yak-20 was a completely new step forward. Sonic performance transformed it from interceptor to a true Cold War workhorse platform. Over 1,100 aircraft were built across multiple specialized roles. Yak-38, a carrier-based VTOL strike aircraft, compromised but operational, proved vertical flight was possible and perfect. Yak-141, the most advanced VTOL fighter prototype ever built, supersonic, too late for service, but far ahead of its time, modern and civil aviation. After the Cold War, Yakovlev's mission changed. Training pilots in civil aviation became just as important as combat power. From airliners to digital jet trainers, evolution replaced raw speed. Yak-40, the world's first regional jet airliner, over 1,000 built, still flying today. Yak-52 was designed to build discipline, not speed. A tandem seat trainer, it taught coordination, spatial awareness, and confidence under stress. Thousands were built, making it one of the most influential pilot training aircraft of the Cold War. Yak-55. Yak-55 pushed training into pure aerobatic mastery. Designed specifically for competitive aerobatics, it prioritized instantaneous control and energy retention. In the 1980s, Yak-55 dominated international competitions, proving as a Azarach fighter actually fly. Yak-130A modern advanced jet trainer, designed to prepare pilots for 4th and 5th generation fighters. Yak-152, a new generation primary trainer, composite materials, digital thinking. Yakovlev never chased extremes, it chased adaptation. When the world changed, Yakovlev changed with it, from wood to metal, from propellers to jets, from fighters to airliners. Not every aircraft was a success, but every aircraft pushed the story forward, and that story is still flying. Helicopters and support aviation. While Iran's fighter fleet shows its age, the helicopter force tells a different story. These aircraft provide mobility, close fire support, and battlefield flexibility, especially critical in Iran's mountainous terrain and coastal defense zones. They may not dominate headlines, but in regional warfare, helicopters often do the quiet, essential work. AH-1J Cobra. When Iran needs proven close air support, the AH-1J Cobra still answers the call. Originally acquired decades ago, it remains a key anti-armor and battlefield support platform. Local upgrades have extended its life, but survivability against modern air defenses is a growing concern. Tufan. When Tehran pushes for indigenous rotorcraft capability, the Tufan emerges as a localized Cobra evolution. It incorporates domestic avionics and weapons integration improvements. Its true value lies in sustainment independence rather than revolutionary performance. Mi-28-IN-E. When Iran seeks modern attack helicopter capability, the Mi-28-IN-E represents a significant step up. With better armor, sensors, and night attack capability, it improves Iran's high-threat battlefield options. However, fleet size and integration depth will determine its real operational weight. Mi-17. When Iran needs reliable battlefield logistics, the Mi-17 is the workhorse. It supports troop transport, resupply, and special operations across difficult terrain. Its rugged design makes it one of the most operationally valuable helicopters in the fleet. CH-47C Chinook. When heavy lift is required, the Chinook provides unmatched payload capacity. It enables rapid troop movement and large equipment transport. Despite its age, it remains strategically important for mobility operations. Bell 214. When medium lift flexibility is needed, the Bell 214 fills the gap. It supports utility transport and general-purpose missions. Its continued service reflects Iran's emphasis on keeping legacy platforms operational. Bell 206. When training and light utility missions are required, the Bell 206 steps in. It is economical, simple, and widely used for pilot training. Operationally modest, but important for sustaining the pilot pipeline. SH-3 Sea King. When maritime patrol and anti-submarine roles are needed, the Sea King remains relevant. It supports naval surveillance and search and rescue operations. However, modernization limits affect its effectiveness in high-end naval warfare. RH-53 DC Stallion. When heavy naval lift and special missions are required, the Sea Stallion provides unique capability. It supports mine countermeasures and special operations roles. But like many legacy platforms, sustainment complexity is a constant challenge. Lockheed C-130 Hercules. When Iran needs reliable battlefield logistics, it turns to the C-130 Hercules. This workhorse moves troops, cargo, and performs special missions. It remains the backbone of Iran's tactical airlift fleet. Antonov N-74. When Iran needs short runway and rough field transport, the N-74 steps in. Its high-mounted engines allow operations in harsh environments. It supports logistics in remote and mountainous regions. Ilyushin IL-76MD. When Iran requires heavy strategic lift, it deploys the IL-76MD. This large transport carries bulky cargo over long distances. It also serves as the base for special mission conversions. Boeing 707 Tanker. When Iranian fighters need extended reach, the Boeing 707 Tanker delivers. Converted from civilian airliners, these aircraft provide aerial refueling. They significantly extend Iran's operational radius. Boeing 747 Tanker/Transport. When massive fuel or cargo movement is required, Iran uses the Boeing 747. These rare tanker conversions provide strategic endurance support. They are among the largest aircraft in Iranian service. Lockheed P-3F Orion Maritime Patrol. When Iran needs long-range maritime surveillance, the P-3F Orion takes over. It hunts submarines and monitors sea lanes. This aircraft is critical for Persian Gulf awareness. Falcon 20 Reconnaissance. When Iran conducts electronic intelligence missions, the Falcon 20 is deployed. This small jet performs surveillance and signals collection. It supports strategic situational awareness. Simorgh AEW C-130 AEW conversion. When Iran needs airborne early warning, the Simorgh AEW fills the gap. Based on the C-130, it carries a dorsal radar system. It provides limited but valuable airspace monitoring. The aerial confrontation between Iran, the United States, and Israel is entering its most dangerous phase, where cheap mass can challenge expensive technology. From swarms of low-cost loitering drones to aging fighter jets still struggling to maintain deterrence, Iran's air warfare doctrine is rewriting the rules through asymmetric power. But the biggest question remains: can a sea of UAVs truly compensate for an aging air force? And if full-scale conflict erupts, who will control the skies of the Middle East? If you want the next breakdown, where we dissect Iran's ballistic missiles and air defense network, make sure to follow now.